My mouth and the whole side of my face swelled up to the point where I could barely breathe, and they were finna put it. They were finna induce me into a coma and put a trach down my throat because they said I was losing oxygen to my brain. So but I happened to was able to make my chicken and dressing before the allergic reaction happened. So all I was thinking about is him stopping this allergic reaction because I have severe allergic reactions. My throat swells instead of breaking out in hives and things like that.
And the key word is she finished her chicken and dressing. She don't
No,
care.
that's why I wanted to get home to. Like, man, y'all gonna give me this allergic reaction medicine so my throat can go down so I can eat me some chicken and dressing.
Real quick, thank you guys for coming back. We had a great time, Brian. Uh, how was your CBC adventures? Wait, let me tell y'all something. First of all, you know how Brian usually get fired when we go to CBC? He didn't get fired this time, but I didn't see him at all. I didn't see him that one time. I
He
couldn't even
stayed
find
clear of you,
So
Tamika.
the one, of course, all the state parties you always want to go to, and it was hard for me to get into the state parties this year. So I was in the parties connected to the state parties, or ones that was like around the area. So like the Trinidad and Tobago parties, or some of the like the power 40 under 40, or even going to shout out to Sean Wilson and his party, Dream Party, is what Dream Builders, and the group that he partnered with, they had an amazing party as well. But that South by South party, they went above and beyond this year. I seen a picture. They put an old school with some foes and a pink and with a dunk with some lights on it in front of their party this year. So they went a little serious. My experience was great. I got to network and be around some people that we work with, and organizations that we partner with, and people locally. So I would say this year was like a B+ because I didn't really get into all the state parties because they were just sold out or at capacity, which I should have just tried anyway.
Excuse me, but I got into all the state parties. um, it was great. We had so a couple years ago, back in 2016, Senator Cory Booker was at an event here in Milwaukee, and I asked to take a picture with him back in 16. And so he took my phone and did the selfie. Well, I saw him this time at CBC, and I pulled the picture up. I said, "This is a picture we took in 2016." He's like, "We got to recreate that." So he took the phone again. So I have one from 16 and one for 2024. Um, Gwen Moore had a really interesting and amazing session, and it was about how do we get the young people out, how do we use AI, how do we use social media to get young people to vote. And there was a section of it that really hit me because they were talking about what do churches, what a 501c3 do, because we're nonpartisan. And the one thing that this woman said, stop being scared to hit issues. It so and I listened to her as she said that. So, like, for instance, if something Kamala said that went against our interests, our best interests, we can go after that particular thing. If Trump says something that is against our interests, we can go after that particular thing. We just can't say who to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been like tiptoeing around, especially 501c3s that represent Black and mostly Black. I have to say Black people, and then some of the BIPOC community. We tiptoe around the issues that matter to us the most because we don't want to be partisan. But with that being said, we're doing a disservice too. We're doing a disservice because if a issue, something that Kamala does is against the Black community, we got to speak out. If something is against, Trump does that is against the Black community, we have to speak out. So I'm really going to try to find these issues that matter the most to our community and start speaking on them. And it won't be
Mhm.
partisan, it will be fact. It will be, this is what they stand for, and this is totally against what we believe as a community. It's not going to help us. So we're going to get into that. And I have I am telling everybody to go and watch. If you have Netflix, watch the documentary Stamped from the Beginning.
Mm. Start from the beginning.
Stamped from the Beginning. And this, like, opens our eyes so much. And we'll talk about it later, how racism actually started and what the word slavery came from. And slavery is for the word, it's a Slavic. The Slavic people were the ones imprisoned. I mean, in slavery. Then it goes into the Portugal king started, with the a transatlantic trade, slave trade. And the reason why it made sense is because any of those Slavic people could run, and you would never know who they are because they blended in. But the black people could not run because they don't blend in. You could spot them right away. You could see it. So that was one of the reasons. And also, the one thing that really got to me is she said, power is when you can create a narrative, even if it's about brutality and hurting other people, other races, and making people believe that it's for a cause. For instance, the Portugal emperor king, he started all this, but it was really brutal and it was horrible. And, the way the slaves came across, he painted the narrative that they were beasts, that they were uneducated, that they did not know what they were talking about. He was trying to save their souls, and they bought into it. And that is how racism is formed, because there's a narrative. Why do black people get killed by the police? Because it's a narrative that we killing each other, we're dangerous. Why is our skin a weapon? Because the narrative is that black people are more violent. Why do our men and women get sexualized? Because the narrative, oh, they can't, they have to have it. That's just them, they're beasts. And we have let people buy into it. We have allowed people to buy into it. And even our own people buy into it. Haven't we ever, the prejudice within our own community, where we see little young black boys with their pants sagging, you automatically think he's a drug dealer or he up to no good, when he just might be doing something fashionable. He think this is fashion, he gonna do it.
Mhm.
They ain't did nothing wrong, don't have a criminal record, but you automatically look at him as a criminal. If you see these girls, and I had a lot of this when I was on the school board in the middle school girls, where they're just trying to wear what's fashionable, but because black and brown girls develop a little more faster, the in their mind they're thinking they're wearing the same thing that everybody else is. Everybody else is portraying, oh, you trying to be fast, you that's too tight, but all they're doing is wearing something in their heads. They're wearing something that all their other kids are wearing. They're not looking at it as a sexual identity or anything like that. They're looking at it, oh, this shirt is cool. Everybody else is wearing this tank top. These biker shorts or whatever, everybody else is wearing them, so I'm going to wear them cuz they're fashionable. But we call them fast. We call them hot to trot, and we do all this in the narrative of hurting our own people. Please, if y'all get a chance to watch this, because it is very fascinating. It talks about when, and then there's another one, and I'll have to find on there, that talks about when how we always say Republican, or uh, Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, but it really breaks down, and I'm going to try to bring it to you tomorrow or Friday, of how that switch happened and when did it happen. And there were like there were conservative Republicans, conservative Democrats, liberal Republicans, and liberal Democrats back then. And there was hundreds of civil rights bills that were passed between in within the Reconstruction era. And then when the communities start to build, that's when this narrative racism came in again about the other one, where they said, no, they are dumber than us. They're beasts. They can't possibly be prospering. And then they have a whole thing in this documentary on when lynching started and why did it start. And it's just so, I was baffled because it's like we have bought into all of this. And when the parties truly changed was around the Great Depression, where the Democrat candidate actually had something for the people, the black people. And that's when they started voting Democrat. That's when the New Deal, where there were so many social services that were provided in that deal, that they started voting their interest, not a party. And back then, the NAACP told them not to be loyal to any party, but what is your best interest. And that is kind of how they explain why African Americans mostly vote Democrat. It's not about a party. Back then, it was about who was going to give me an opportunity to live. This is the stuff that we're gonna start talking about after I went to CBC and watched Brian circulate all over the world and came back with 100 and
Yeah,
something
because I'm
cards.
seeing him with a lot of pictures. He with Chris, all of them.
Yeah, and you know what I did? I went to my meetings. I went to some fundraising meetings. I went to some workshops, and I went back to my room. I was like, yeah, I think I went out one night, and I went to the Ohio party, the Pennsylvania party, Virginia party. It was one other one, and then I said, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna be okay for tomorrow night, which was Friday. Yeah, I didn't make it Friday night. Then Saturday, I went to the Phoenix Awards dinner. Was really enjoying myself. I was tired, but I was enjoying myself. But I felt a little claustrophobic, so Tamika had to go outside. And Tamika left her ticket on the table, so I couldn't go back in
Oh
because my
wow!
ticket was on my table, and I couldn't get anybody. I
To answer their phone.
Right, to answer the phone or answer their text. And I also left my earbuds there. So I have had earbuds for 5 years and now they are gone and I can see where they are. They're at 892 North Southwest on the corner. It's right there, Washington, D.C. And I can't get them. But I had an amazing time. I'm glad you guys you know kept us holding us down. We got some more information for you tomorrow and Friday, but we have some special guests. Latoya, introduce our guests.
Well, again, as she promised, back in the house is our amazing Miss. What was her name? Miss Mabel. Look how she looked at me like, girl,
Oh,
Miss
wait a minute.
Mabel
That
Lamb.
was did you see that? If looks could kill. Now we don't forget you.
We can never forget you, all the amazing work you do in the Sherman Park area. And around the Milwaukee area. And I need you to introduce yourself.
Celia Jackson.
Celia Jackson. How you doing, Miss Jackson?
I'm good. How about you?
All right.
Now-
Now it's nice to see your face.
That's
Wait a
right.
minute. But the Miss Celia Jackson, I remember you did did you work with the county? I mean the city of Milwaukee for
For a minute.
yeah, okay. That's where I remember your name, but now you're with Sherman Park.
Right. I'm doing some consulting work on the Get Out the Vote.
Oh, see?
Okay.
Oh, we need consultants around here to do some work.
doing work. Period.
So, Miss Mabel, come and tell me. I know you was here, touting your organization, which we really love, and we have been working with you guys at least as long as I have been there. I've only been there 2.5 years, but always first. I think the first or second person I spoke to that was already a partner, and we did a training in your area. So, tell us what you're doing, and then tell us about your what you're doing.
Okay. Well, I wanted to just come back and just remind people that we are having our National Voter Registration Day on Tuesday, which is tomorrow.
Tomorrow to Tuesday. Wait, on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday, vote on Tuesdays. All of that good stuff happens on Tuesday. So, we wanted to just remind people we're having National Voter Registration Day on Tuesday, September 17th at the Sherman Phoenix from 11 to 1. We wanted to catch the people in the lunch hour. So if you need to come by, check your voter registration status, you can do that. And we also having a little party that later on that evening from 3 to 6.
You said party.
We call it National Voter Registration
Okay.
Day party. So we will have people come again if people need to check their registration, change the registration. You guys gonna help us with that,
We are
right?
going to be assisting. We're going to be assisting people to register to vote. If they need assistance, we are right there. We're giving them the tools they need to register to vote. And if they have any questions about what they need to do, how they need to do it, we are going to be right there with our team getting that information to them. So we are working with you right there on side by you.
We appreciate that. So yeah, we want to make sure that people, if you have changed your address, you need to, if you have not voted since Barack Obama um ran for office, and I know I have run into a few people and they say I haven't voted since then, you may need to get back on the voter polls because you might have gotten purged. So we need you to come back out and check your voter status. Make sure that you registered to vote. Make sure you can get
I'm sure
in.
they purged.
Yeah, I'm sure they
So,
purged too.
but there is. Think about the list. Let's try to think of every reason why people should. You might have been purged. If you've moved, if you've changed your name and got married, even if you move to a different apartment within the same address,
Mhm.
change it. All those people who just cleanly got off of probation and parole, even if you're a felon, it's time for you to register to vote because you have a right to vote now. Let's see any other scenario. 18, you just turned 18.
Just
Wait a
became
minute. Here's
citizen.
the thing. If you are 18 on election day, you can register.
Okay.
So even if you are 18, that's your birthday, you can register now. If you are turning 18 anytime before that, you can register now.
Yeah.
What let me think of something else.
If you became a citizen, if you
If
off
you just
paper,
yep,
like
if
you
you
said, turned 18.
it's so there are so many people who are out there. There's thousands and thousands of people in the Milwaukee County or city of Milwaukee as well, and thousands of Milwaukee County area people who are not registered. Here's the thing. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but everybody should have an opportunity. If you choose to vote, vote. And we're going to try to convince you to vote, but you can't vote if you're not registered. So at least give yourself that opportunity that if you wake up, you like, I know there's one person last season. I'm not voting. I'm not voting. And I don't know what happened or what happened to her, but she did register to vote. And then I'm not voting. And then she got up that morning and something happened that she had to go vote. And she came back later to Wisconsin Voices and said, y'all made me go. I said, I ain't make you do nothing. He's like, but you got me to register and I wasn't going to vote. But and I can't remember exactly what it was, but she was like, I'm fed up, go vote. Miss Cecilia, Celia, I'm sorry. What is your role in the whole process here?
So I just came on board the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and my intention is to get as many people out canvassing and talking to folks about the election, about the importance of being registered to vote, and really kind of finding out where people are on some of the issues, talking to them about what the issues are, being concerned about what are your issues, what are things that you're concerned about, And so that's going to require a lot of legwork. Doing GOTV stuff. You're out there doing, knocking on doors, talking to people. Folks, sometimes people don't want to talk to you. So, we just have to really look to see where people are and do everything we can to at least get them engaged. And not only on the ground, but also on the phone, calling people up. But the first thing we got to do is to find enough people to help us do that.
That is what my
Mhm.
question was going. My next question was going to be, if you would like to volunteer, to get out there and knock on some doors, at least with your organization, where would they call? Where would they email?
They could call if you are interested in helping. You can call our office 414-444-9803, which is the Sherman Park Community Association. We also have a website. You can go on there, you can sign up to get emails. You can send us the email at info@shermanpark.org. Our website address is www.shermanpark.org. So any of those ways you can definitely get hooked up with us so that we will have boots on the ground to go and knock doors, canvas, talk to folks. We're gonna be talking to folks
You
all
gonna
through the
talk? You
neighborhood.
gonna talk?
We're gonna talk.
You can talk.
We can talk.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna get them signed up too.
And here's another thing. If you're in another area, we have partners across the city of Milwaukee and actually Milwaukee County who are doing this work. If you want to find out if you can volunteer somewhere in the city, please call us at 41. This is Wisconsin Voices, 414-226-4289.
Yes, because we're looking for block captains.
We're looking, and if you want, and the black captain thing is not just now.
Oh,
We want, if you become one of Wisconsin Voices block captains, we are going to inform you of things that are going on throughout the year.
mhm.
We want 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year civic
Engagement.
engagement.
We want to our block captains to be our boots on the ground to have to get our political power back from all our elected officials, making sure they stand on it by neighborhood, so the community can rally and come together.
I think we have a caller.
Yes, we do.
Caller, go ahead.
Yes. Oh, excuse me. Oh,
Yes,
man. Excuse me. I
we're
just want to
here.
say,
Good morning.
yes. Good
Uh,
morning.
if
Good
you
morning.
can you turn your radio down?
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
That's
You're
okay.
okay.
How is this?
Good.
A little bit better?
That's better,
Yes.
Miss,
sir.
yes. Miss Tamika Buterish.
That's Tamika
That's,
Vukovic.
I'm sorry. I
Y'all like to
tried. I
mess with
tried
my
to get it
last
right.
name. I get y'all, but in October I'll be married 20 years. So
And
Congratulations.
I'm not being disrespectful.
no,
But
I
anyway,
didn't think you were.
Miss Tamika Buterish, here I go again, right?
Mhm.
Oh, first of all, I want to say thank everybody for being there with Black Action Wisconsin. And I will try not to repeat myself because everything everybody said there is the absolutely truth. Because we have to find a way to vote, and by all means necessary. Because well, the issues that concern us is really it's for real. That's for real. You know, you
Mhm.
listen to we can listen to the campaign ads and all that kind of stuff. People saying this and people saying that. But excuse me, Miss Bushish, can I have your permission to address you by your first name? All right, Tamika. You didn't say nothing, but anyway, dear, I just want to say thank you, CEO, and everybody there for Black Action Wisconsin. Respectfully, and thank you for being diverse. My concern is, regardless of all this stuff we hear on the commercial campaigns and stuff like that, but we know what our issues are. We know what we experience, right? That's no
Yes.
joke because that's how we live everyday life. And thank God for the young people, especially the young people that come out and vote. Because, excuse me, dear, I may be oldest Moses, Moses, and anything like that. Excuse me, but Tamika, I might be oldest Moses, but I just want to appreciate and show respect to the young people that come out because um, in 1980, not to put everybody to sleep, okay? Because when I came back, well, home from the war, and went to college and stuff like that. But that was a young lady when I went to vote in the 1980s. Her name was Mabel Woods.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Uh, And when I went to vote in 1980s, Mabel Woods said, "Wait a minute, no you ain't, no you ain't being like that, coming out and vote." But back in those days, when you're young like that, you don't think about voting, how important it is. But when Mabel Wood told me how important it was, I've been doing it ever since. So
All
thank
right.
God for Miss Mabel Wood. Okay, so
Maddie
anybody
Bell
know Miss
Woods.
Mabel Wood, you know I ain't lying, because she was a strong lady, and she told me that. And she said, don't you ever come from a war, fighting in Vietnam and stuff like that, living on the streets and whatever the case may be. You vote and you watch out for our people because back in the days, come on now, it was hard for us to do that, all kind of measures and all kind of ways. But you take your butt out there and you vote. I don't want to hear nobody saying I don't want to vote because this and that or another. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So excuse me, dear. Miss Bell Wood told me that back in the days. I didn't know no better. I'm just being honest because I didn't vote until maybe the 19 when I came back home from Vietnam. Well, I didn't vote until about 1980s. But when I met Miss Betty Bell Woods, oh, she told me that. And
Well,
she,
we
hey,
gonna we gonna make sure
Well,
we honor
thank you
her.
so much.
thank you, thank you. But I'm lying about that. I'm lying about that. She did. Bless her heart, bless her heart.
Oh, we
And,
wouldn't
and,
think you would
and,
be
since
No,
that,
lying.
and
no.
since that time, I have.
We'll
Thank you so much for
And thank you for taking my
educating us on
call.
that. No problem at all.
we're gonna take a short break. This is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We're coming back to amplify our voices. We'll be right back. Well, Miss Mabel, I want to tell you something.
What you got?
I want you to tell our people, your people over there,
You need a muscle relaxer.
what's wrong with him.
Put your hand down. What's wrong? You gotta rest it.
He got a muscle cramp. It's a muscle cramp.
You
I
been
know.
lifting
Muscle.
weights?
Oh, see, drink some water. Get some water. You need water. Oh, you know what you need? An ice pack. I'm telling you, get an ice pack. But Miss Mabel, let me tell you about what's happening at Wisconsin for in Wisconsin Voices, so you can tell the people out there about it. We are having a concert. You heard about our concert, Miss Mabel?
I think I have.
You sure you heard about our
I think I
concert?
may have.
So our concert is October 1st, and it will be, I'm just so excited about it because it will be some local talent as well as some national talent, we should
Mhm.
say. So the people who are hosting, it's October 1st and it's at Turner Hall. It's an
Yeah, I saw
18 and
that.
over event. And Rotimi from Power, and I think he's on the side. Wait, what is it? The Shy. He will be hosting with our own Jasmine Tyler, and then we will have he will be hosting that, and then we will have our wait who gonna be on there? Who's in the studio? Who gonna be in there? Curry P. He will be performing. Little Real Rich from Atlanta will be performing. Little RB, yeah. We got DJ Sushi Floor is going to be the GJ for this. MT Twins, Ro James, Scrappy, Steve the Stoner, our own Von Mays, and Ray Nitty will be performing. And this is a get out the vote. Let's come together. Let's have a great time. Getting out the vote events don't have to be boring. We can give them information about issues. We can tell them about what matters to them. Ask them what matters to them. We'll be having a podcast going on. We're doing that live streaming so people can hear what other people think, what they need to know. All October 1st at Turner Hall. Click on Wisconsin, go to Wisconsin Voices, click on the big vote. We even got the big vote tote. We got some goodie bags. The big vote tote. We got some goodie bags in there for you. But all of this
For
is
the first,
to,
how many people?
well, it's we're gonna give them all sporadically out. It's not the first, but
Oh,
we're
that's
gonna
how
be
they
doing
present it.
trivia, different stuff to try to get these out. We want voting to be fun.
Mhm.
Like, it is fun, actually. Do you remember? And I don't know if some people remember the hype we felt when we were going to the polls in '08.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was fun. We was skipping it down the street, getting ready to go vote, because everybody was hyped up about it. You couldn't, nobody could tell us nothing then. We was talking with bass in our chest. We need to get that back
Yeah.
because we, as a community, a minority community, can sway votes one way or the other. We can can make things happen. They don't want to admit it, but when Tony Evers was his last election or his first election, it was the black vote in Milwaukee that pushed him over.
No doubt.
That is what did it. We came out in droves for him. Why? Because we wanted to make a difference. We were sick of the baloney that was going on. That is how we might be disgruntled. We might be like, I ain't voting, but when push come to shove, have you ever known that kid gets in trouble all the time? Mama's like, I ain't doing nothing else for you. I'm not talking. Don't call me when you get in trouble. But when they get in trouble, You get now what you do, and then trying to figure out the problem. This is what I want us as as a community to do. We might get mad, but at the end of the day, we save. But when we save an election, I want us to hold these people accountable. Go to your alders, go to your state reps, go to your senators and say, this is what I demand. This is
Mhm.
what I need. This is what my community wants. And don't be scared of it. Because especially if you get enough people together, one
Right.
person is not really going to do too much. They can ignore one person. Maybe they listen if it's 10, 20 people. If 100 people get together all of a sudden because they're making enough noise, all of a sudden it's like, well, what can I do for you? So that is what we are doing. Hopefully everybody can sign up. I know there was I was told there was a little bit of a glitch with the website. We'll take care of that after the show today. But make sure that you sign up for them tickets. They're gonna go. Um, they're gonna go quickly. And this is when do you get to see these people for free?
Right. It's true.
When do you get to have a concert that you can enjoy, learn something, learn about the issues, learn about voting, get to know your people who are in your community and have a good time. I don't remember a concert like this. Nah, I don't.
What
What
time of day? What's the time? Do you remember?
the doors open at 5 and the concert starts at 6:30 and it goes until roughly 9:30.
And the vice presidential debate is happening that evening too.
When October 1st?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now I didn't know they announced that yet.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple of places now, so I'm just wondering if there's a way to
We will figure
wrap
it
some of
out.
that in.
We will figure it out if we have to put it on the camera for a minute or have a room with a TV, to show it.
Watch party.
We'll figure something out. We might some people who don't want to go to the concert, they could be doing the watch party. There are so many things that we can do. If this concert doesn't fit for somebody else, go to see the watch party. We had a watch party with what was the organization?
The Center mm, for Racial
And
Justice
gender
and Equality.
equality. They did and they had a nice little group there, and we all know the the presidential was interesting. We had I love our people when they get to when you go to the movies and our people like to talk at the screen like run. you know you ain't supposed to go in there. But then that happened at this thing, and they were like, "Why would you telling me?" It was like so much commentary that happened, and it made it fun. All this stuff is exciting. It can be fun. So we gonna try to we gonna be there tomorrow, Miss Mabel.
Okay.
Now, can you tell them the hours again, and then tell them when the after we call it the after. Let's call it the after set.
The
Yeah,
after
the after
party.
set. Yeah, the
After the
after set.
party.
Yeah.
So tomorrow again, September 17th, Tuesday, from 11 until 1. So if you need to just get away for the lunch hour to get your registration set, come over to the Sherman Phoenix 3536 West Fond du Lac Avenue. We will also be there tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. So you can come after work. Bring your kids. It's a family friendly event. We will have a little food. And
I'm always
I
hungry.
know we all will be hungry after work. So just come through and get signed up, check your registration. And Tamika, like you were saying, that people don't think it's important to vote. If it was not important to vote, they would not be trying to figure out ways to take your vote. So please understand, don't believe that hype. You need to make sure you come to vote on November 5th and make sure that you are registered, signed up prior to that. You can also early vote. So we'll continue with that as well.
I always say this thing, and I say it. I've said it on the radio here. If you go to steal something, if you go into somebody's house, you break in and you steal a tissue, This a tissue. Ain't nobody really gonna say nothing. It's a tissue. If you steal their TV, that it's a little bit like, wait a minute, you steal their car. But why don't we jump up and down when they try to steal our vote or suppress our vote?
Yes, ma'am.
They have done it in so many ways. I'm getting ready to do a fight where, and we'll talk about that on tomorrow and Friday, but they are using different tactics to suppress our vote, to not have people able to register. They make the rules and they make the rules, you follow the rules, and then they complain about the rules that they made. So we go, that is what Wisconsin Voices does, because we have three pillars: protect democracy, build community, teach advocacy. And this is what we do all day, every day, all year round, 365. This is what we do. So we're going to be protecting y'all democracy while we trying to get out the vote and then build community. And then we also have, please sign up for Civics 101 classes. We're going to go after this break. We're going to go into a little bit about how a bill becomes law, because I think if you understand the legislature, and that is the most important we need to be voting for, if you understand the legislature and how a bill is brought and how you can bring a bill and all that other stuff, then you'll be able to understand why you should vote. We'll be right back with Wisconsin Voices. Be a vote, be a voice. Ooh, look, I'm talking about be a vote. Maybe
Be a vote.
maybe that's our theme into the voting. Be right back. Hello, Nick. I mean, Brian.
Hello, Miss Vukovic. What do you do?
Joe and Latoya, I missed y'all so
What's
much.
up? What's up? Yeah, I
missed
tapped
you
in for a
too.
little bit on Friday. I
We
seen
missed
y'all.
you so much. We followed you.
I seen a little bit.
Where y'all go?
What?
I
I
said
missed
we
it.
missed you so much. We followed you. She said, "Where y'all go?" To DC.
I seen a little bit of the show Friday. I didn't get to watch much because it was just kind of busy. But I think that was the Friday show.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We was getting ready to go over to that. Was that the day we had that meeting
We
with
had that. Yeah,
Miss Marilyn?
no,
Oh,
we
that was
went
Thursday.
to Friday was when we went to Congresswoman Moore's
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I was
So what
ironing.
day was you with Chris?
I seen Chris. I usually see Chris more, but this time I didn't get to hang out with Chris as much. But I
Chris
did see,
Walton.
yeah,
Shout
Chris
out
Welton.
Yeah,
to
Shout
Hip
out
shout
to
Hop
out.
the Hip
Caucus.
Hop Caucus. Yes, they always make sure we good. Shout out to Chris getting us through that VIP quick. He came down and got us, and we were in there within 5 minutes while everybody was still outside for 30
I'm gonna
minutes.
have to holler at my cousin. He don't give me that treatment. Like
You got
we
it
blood.
but you got it the first year you went. Last year we didn't get it. This year I guess so. It's gonna be every other year we get.
I guess so.
Um, a shout out to I have to give a shout out to our board member who went, Chelsea Cross. Uh,
Yeah, shout out to Chelsea.
she actually, really worked the rooms for us and was there for Wisconsin Voices. I think she had a decent time.
Yeah, it looked like she did. She had a good time. She was networking, because she has a lot of connections as well. She's seen a lot of people that she knew from across, either from Wisconsin or people that she's worked with in different areas across, across this country. So that was cool watching her work the rooms and do her thing as well.
Yeah, sometimes it's really nice to have your board know what you're doing
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
like participate in the development of an organization. It was really good. Um, we were going to talk about how a bill becomes a law, but this is a whole show though. This is not. This is something that has to take a little bit of time. But do y'all remember the Schoolhouse Rock?
Mm-hmm.
I
The
love that. I'm
Constitution.
just a bill.
Yeah.
I'm
The bill,
sitting
just a
here
bill.
on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Well, and he looked like he was so sad because he couldn't get through committee and he couldn't get through in there. But just the basics of how a bill, and we're going to get into more of like committees, different things, and on tomorrow's show. But basically, a bill may be introduced in either the Assembly or the Senate, and this is on the local state level, where it is read by the chief clerk first reading. A committee studies the bill and often holds public hearings on it. Then the committee votes and reports the bill out of committee. The bill is then most often referred to a rules committee. The rules committee can either place the bill on the calendar for a second reading and debate before the entire assembly, or take no action at all. And this is important where a lot of times, if there's not enough support, or they'll just stop it right there. At the second reading of the bill, um, it's subject to debate and amendments before being placed on the calendar for a third reading and final passage. That's when, if you don't like something about the bill, you need to add something in. You think that there's a better way to do it. These are all amendments to the bill. A lot of times, some of the bills that are horrible, that's when, like on one side or the other, that's when you'll see somebody trying to make sure that they help the bill by making an amendment. Um, and after passing one house, the bill goes through the same procedure in the other. So first, if it came through the assembly first, then it'll go to the Senate. If it came through the Senate first, then it'll go through the assembly, but it has to go through both. If amendments are made in one house, the other must concur. So even if the bill went through the assembly and it got to the Senate, then the Senate decides, wait a minute, I like the bill, but we gonna make amendments, or we don't like something in, then it has to go back to the assembly to pass. So it's the same exact bill. When the bill is accepted in both houses, which is the assembly and the Senate in Wisconsin, it is signed by the respective leaders and sent to the governor. Then the governor signs the bill into law, or he may veto all or parts of it, because in the state of Wisconsin, line item veto. If that happens, the legislature may overturn it by 2/3 votes in each house. If the governor fails to act on the bill, it may become a law without a signature. So if he just sits there and he don't want to sign it, it's going to become a law. And there is so much more we have to go through on how it becomes a bill, because I really want to start with the sections where how do you even get a bill? Like, who writes them? You can write them. You can get help writing them. I know Joe and our policy person, if somebody, one of our partners had a bill, he could help them write it.
Mhm.
And then we could try to circulate it to whomever we need to do it. But there are so many different ways. You don't have to wait for them to come up with a lot of these packs or these what are they, these organizations or group. They write the bill themselves and give it to the representative or the senator to say, hey, this is what we like. And usually that's when it goes to their office looks at it, and then it starts the whole process. But they don't necessarily have to write the bill. I know a lot of people who got handed bills, and they've taken credit for it, but it was written by one of these 501c3s or these organizations. And I know there was a lot of the legislation that helped with trafficking was written by the trafficking task force, human trafficking task force, and given to legislators. So all of this, we're gonna go into it a little bit more tomorrow. Joe, you gonna be prepared?
Oh yeah, I'm always prepared.
Did you miss us, Joe?
I missed you guys. It's good to have you back. Me and Toya held the fort down, and
You can't forget Nicole.
kept and Nicole, and yep, you're right, and kept all the wheels turning and kept moving Wisconsin voices forward. And we're just happy to have the whole crew back together again.
I am going into the office as soon as we get off because I have not been there, and I'm sleepy already. Y'all sleepy? Latoya, I am glad you are
lunchtime.
feeling better. You
Mhm.
look better. Just I'm glad that you kept persisting. Brian,
Yeah.
you
Hey.
just need to get some sleep.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
tired. See, Brian was supposed to be on a flight with me at he would have been
I was at the
home.
airport
Wait,
at
no,
5
no,
a.m. That was what
no,
time you get to
no,
the airport? 4:55.
no. My plane left at 8 o'clock or 7:55. I got there at 6.
Oh, yeah.
But he was supposed to be there,
I was
with
walking
me.
through a
But
park
wait, no, no,
at 5
no.
in the morning.
All of a sudden, I see a notice that at about midnight somebody changed their flight.
That is correct. I seen it on there.
To the
I seen
later
it.
flight.
I did. I went on there when you called it back and told me. He was like, "Hey, I think I got you. I think you good. If you can change it." I went on there and I still seen that flight was in there. I went over and I was like, "Hey, you want to?" I asked Chelsea, I was like, "You want to switch these flights?" Man, I'm walking back through the park at 4:57 a.m. I'm walking through a park, leaving the hip hop caucus party. We're hanging outside. This extreme debate went on about the election. It was insane. And what's crazy is because me and Chelsea was saying it is these people don't even know that. The people that was outside don't even know that they were talking to people who work in this work every day. But we weren't even in a conversation. We was completely somewhere else. But it was like 15 people in this extreme debate, and it was people walking past, and me and her just quietly just walked up away from that. It was like, I don't even know they were sitting with folks who would have been deep in that conversation all through that vicinity. But
We
yeah.
have to. Sometimes you just gotta sit back and watch it.
Yeah, it was a great one. Anytime you got to ask her about it. It was quick, but it was entertaining.
Well, I thank you so much for welcoming us back. We're gonna we're gonna be doing a lot. I think it would be Latoya and Brian and Joe tomorrow on how a bill becomes the law. They will do an excellent job. Excellent, as Big Love would say, excellent. And we're gonna talk about some of the other events that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. This is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices. Please amplify your voice. Talk to you soon.
Chill.
Bye.